Hi there, Ginger Roses. Welcome back to the YouTube. How common is your name? Have you ever wondered how many people in the world have the same name as you? Well, we're going to be looking at exactly that in today's video. So we're going to start with the rarest names, and as this video goes on, finish with the most common. So we're saving the most common name till the end. I wonder what it's going to be. Is it Henry or Jake? No, it's definitely not Jake. Guys, I'm going to try and cover as many names as possible. If I don't say a name, I'm sorry. Okay, before we start, guys, as always, I just want to point this out. For all of you brilliant people who watch my videos, there's a massive 71.7% of you not subscribed. Well, that needs to change. So if you watch my videos and you enjoy them, then please do subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. I love you. All right, let's get straight into it. We're going to fly through these. 356 people are called Esther. Over 917,000 people alive have this name. Esther. I don't think I've ever met an Esther. Sounds like an old person's name. Sorry if you're young and you're watching this, you're called Esther. 1 in 8,142 people are called Heinz. 941,000 people alive have this name. That is crazy. I've never met Heinz. Is that a German name? Named after freaking condiment brand. Imagine being named after ketchup. 1 in 8,035 people are called Cheryl. 954,550 people alive have this name. Wow. No, I've never met a Cheryl either. The only Cheryl I know is Cheryl Cole. I mean, I don't actually know her. I've just seen her on TV. 1 in 8,022 people are called Kamala. 956,100 people alive have this name. Kamala? No. Do you know any Kamalas? I don't know a single Kamala. But we are starting with the rarest, so it makes sense. They will get more common. 1 in 7,779 people are called Yusuf. 986,600 people alive have this name. What kind of name is Yusuf? No, I've never heard of that. Judy. Okay, 1 in 7,580 people have this name. 1,012,000 people alive. There's over 1 million Judys worldwide. Judy Dench. That's one. 1 in 7,461 people called Tim. Over 1 million people called Tim worldwide. I know a few Tims. I've met a few Tims in my life. 1 in 7,347 people called Layla. My sister's actually called Layla, but it's not spelled like that. 1,044,910 people alive have this name. Guy. I always think Guy is a funny name. Like, it's a cool name, but it's also like, why don't you just call them Man? Or dude. 1 in 7,229 people have this name. 1 in 6,985 people are called Fabio. Basically 1.1 people alive have this name. Who's called Fabio? I've never heard of a Fabio. I've never met a Fabio. Angelo. 1 in 6,909 people called this. 1,110,150 people alive have this name. I feel like these aren't getting more common. They're getting more rare. This person's just called And over 1,125,000 people called this. Who do you know in the world is called That's the noise I make before I eat food. 1 in 6,623 people are called Adele. Okay. No, there's only one Adele. 1,158,140 people alive have this name. Oh, I've only obviously ever known of the one Adele that there is, but never met anyone else called Adele. Stella, named after a beer. 1 in 6,539 people are called Stella. 1,173,050 people alive have this name. No, I've never... Let me know in the comments, guys. Have you ever met anyone called Stella? We're going to get to the normal names soon. Don't forget they get more common as this video goes on. But for now, Wolfgang. 1 in 6,450 people are called Wolfgang. Wow, that's 1,189,170 people alive have this name. Those poor people. Imagine your first name being Wolfgang. It's so cringy and what? 1 in 6,354 people are called Marcel. That's a pretty cool name, actually. I like that one. Oh, finally, a normal name. 1 in 6,328 people are called Sam. I know so many Sams. I've met a lot of Sams in my life. 1,212,556 people alive have this name. Okay, good. I'm glad we finally came to a name I actually know. 1 in 6,200 people are called Sophia. 1,237,620 people alive have this name. I know a few Sophias. I've met a few Sophias. 1 in 6,068 people in the world are called Joshua. Wow, when you put it like that, that's quite a few people. There's a lot of Joshuas, but then I know a lot of Joshes. Dan. 1 in 5,728 people are called Dan. 1.3 million people alive have this name. That is insane. Wow. It's a lot of Dans. I know a few Dans as well. Dan the mechanic, if you're watching. Hello. 1 in 5,566 people are called Joe. Basically 1.4 million people alive have this name. I almost have this name. Obviously I'm Jake, but my middle name is Joseph. So, I guess it's not really Joe, is it? Oh, my granddad's name. 1 in 5,475 people are called Philip. 1.4 million people alive have this name. Thanks for bringing that up, video. My granddad isn't actually alive, but... Cheers. 1 in 5,401 people are called Melissa. No, I've only ever met one Melissa in my life. 1.42 million people alive have this name. 1 in 5,165 people are called Amy. 1.5 million people alive have this name. It's a lot of Amy's. Alan. 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 I know Alan Carr. I don't think I've met any other Alans. I mean, I haven't even met Alan Carr, but I don't think I know of any other Alans in my life than Alan Carr. 1 in 5,036 people are called Alan. Diego. Wow, I didn't expect this to be this far on the list. 1 in 5,003 people are called Diego. God damn. Diego is a cool name, actually. Diego is cool. 1 in 4,679 people are called Virginia. Where's Virginia? 1.6 million people alive are called Virginia. Who's called Virginia? I feel like that's an unfortunate name, because if you were called Virginia in school, surely they'd just be shortened to Virgin. That would not be ideal. Ting Ting? Is this video taking the piss out of my hair? 1 in 4,275 people are called Ting Ting. Basically 1.8 million people alive have this name. That's so many people. Isaac. I know an Isaac. 1 in 4,157 people are called Isaac. I feel like Isaac is a smart name. Like, if you're called Isaac, you're probably very intelligent. 1.85 million people alive are called Isaac. 1 in 4,075 people are called Usher or Usha. I'm going to go with Usher. 1.88 million people alive are called Usher. Really? I've never met an Usher. Maybe it's because it's not an English name. Probably. 1 in 3,742 people are called Igor. 2 million people alive have this name. I've never met an Igor. I've never even heard of an Igor. 1 in 3,296 people are called Margarita. 2.32 million people alive have this name. That is cool. That is a cool name, actually. Could it be shortened to Margaret? Is that why? I've had a margarita cocktail. Marco. 1 in 3,128 people are called Marco. 2.45 million people alive have this name. Wow. 1 in 2,920 people are called Victoria. 2.6 million people alive have this name. I've known a few Vickies. What Vicky? What Vicky? Alex. Alan. Steve. My dad's called Steve. 1 in 2,783 people are called Alex. 2.75 million people alive have this name. I've known a few Alexes in my life. Oscar. Oh, Oscar! 1 in 2,623 people are called Oscar. 2.9 million people alive have this name. That's so many people. 1 in 2,456 people are called Christian. 3.1 million people alive have this name. Christian, surely it could be also Chris. My uncle's called Chris. 1 in 2,150 people are called Diana. 3.55 million people alive have this name. God damn. That's a lot of Dianas. George. 1 in 1,941 people are called George. 3.95 million people alive have this name. Yeah, I know a few Georges. 1 in 1,734 people are called Patrick. 4.4 million people alive have this name. I think I've only ever known like 2 Patricks in my life. But these names are only getting more common, guys. 1 in 1,400 people are called Anita. 5.5 million people alive have that name. Anita. Really? I've never heard of an Anita before. Going from Anita to Peter. 1 in 1,027 people are called Peter. 7.5 million people alive are called Peter. To be fair, that will make sense. There's a lot. I know a lot of Peters. Well, I have known a lot of Peters. 1 in 871 people in the world are called James. Are you joking? That's crazy. That's a lot of Jameses. 8.8 million Jameses worldwide. Carlos. 1 in 797 people in the world are called Carlos. I feel like that's a cool name as well. 9.6 million people are called Carlos. 1 in 693 people are called Anna. 11.3 million people. That makes sense. That makes sense. I think Mary is a very common name as well. 1 in 571 people are called David. David! 13.4 million people alive have this name. There's so many Davids. That is crazy. 1 in 535 people are called John. I feel like John's such a standard name, isn't it? If you're called John, I don't know. First thing that springs to mind when I hear John is just middle-aged man. You're like 40. Okay, guys, we've made it to the last 3 names. 1 in 520 people are called Ali. 14,763,730 people alive have this name. That's crazy. 1 in 256 people are called Jose. Is it Jose or Joe's? It's not Josie. I think it's Jose. Jose. 29,946,430 people alive have this name. Basically, 30 million people alive are called Jose. That is crazy. But it's not even as crazy as the last one. 1 in 168 people in the world are called Mohammed. So for every 168 people in the world, one of them is called Mohammed. That is crazy. 45.65 million. Unbelievable. And this is why I think this is crazy as well, because I've never met a Mohammed. Maybe because I live in England, but I don't know. I've never met Mohammed. Let me know in the comments, guys, if you've ever met Mohammed. Before we go, I'm going to look up my name as well. I need to know this. Okay, it doesn't tell me the exact amount of Jakes there are in the world, but it says in the US, Jake has consistently been in the top 700 names for boys and ranked 422 in popularity in 2024. So pretty rare, actually. Not too bad. I'll take that. What about Henry? Henry has been among the top 10 most popular names for newborn boys since 2020. The name Henry was given to over 474,000 females in the last 100 years. Females. Henry is not a multi-sex name, surely. Henry and its variant Harry has ranked highly in the UK for decades. It was the name of 8 English kings, contributing to its strong historical and royal association. In 2021, 11,307 baby boys were named Henry in the US alone. Wow. Well, there you go. It doesn't give us the exact amount of Henrys and Jakes worldwide, but that gives you a pretty good idea. Right, well, there you go. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. Bit of a different one. Bit of a quick one, but I enjoyed it. I found it pretty interesting. Before you go, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps me out. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.